Good morning. Today is the 26th of May, and this is part 7 of a slightly shambolic shuffle around the 2024 Enfield Pageant of Motoring. I did film this part just now. I got 22 minutes in and I lost all the footage, so I'm having to do it again, which is really annoying, but there we go. 1994-1995 Vauxhall combo. It's an early combo actually. This. It's also a 1.4 engine, which is unusual. Normally, most of these have an engine we can't talk about on the channel. It's good to see a petrol one. 1978-1979 Ford Capri 3-litre S. And yes, we've got professional vibes coming off that. Very, very nice. 1976-1977 Saab 99 GL Combi Coupe, an automatic one. A very rare specification. 99s are almost extinct in this country, really, so it's good to see one. Complete with headlamp wipers. We actually saw this yesterday. Then a Trabant. I think this one will have the Volkswagen engine in it if it's this late. I can't remember if it's a different type number from the normal 601. No, just still 601S. 1990-1991. And then a car I very much admired yesterday, 1994-1995 Renault 19 16-valve Executive. I don't think I've ever seen one of these in this specification ever before. 19s on their own are pretty rare. That is a lovely car. Not sure what this Porsche 911 of the 991 generation is doing in the pre-2000 parking area, but never mind. 1988-89 Ford Orion Mark II 1.4L. This is the base model available at the time. I've always preferred the Orions over the Escorts for some reason, although the Escorts tend to be more valuable for reasons best known to, I don't know, Ford fans. Riley RM, we saw absolutely tons of you yesterday at the RM Owners Club stand, which is over there somewhere. Fortunately, it's not as busy as it was yesterday today, so I can get around a bit quicker, I think. Then a Toyota Tessa, which was sold over here as the Lexus IS 200, but in Japan they were known as the Altessa. That's a 99 to 2000 plate. Another Toyota Crown Coupe of this generation, although the one we saw yesterday was a completely different car. This is a black one. The one we saw yesterday was a white one. Is that funny? You see none of these ever, and then two of them turn up at the same event. There's the super deluxe version with a Toyota Glide transmission, 1972-73. Ford Cortina Mark II Estate. We saw lots of saloons yesterday. I don't think we saw an Estate, complete with what looks like an aftermarket heated rear window and a rear wiper. Say 1600 GT, but that's fun. And we've got a Mark II Ford console convertible. This will be from the sort of late 50s, I think. Can't remember the name of the people who used to make the convertible version. The Estate was by Abbots of Farnham. And we've got a very interesting thing here. We've got two Triumph 2.5 PIs, both on H plates, but we can see the crossover here. This is the later one after the so-called Innsbruck facelift that occurred in 1969 on an H. And right next to it we can actually see the Mark I version here, which is I don't know, I prefer the look of these, to be honest. I prefer the earlier type to the later type for some reason. Some of you will probably disagree with me, but that's just my preference. You can see they do look quite different, even though they're virtually the same car, really. So that'll be a 69, the other one could be a 70. Something very nice, a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit, 1982-1983. This one has headlamp wipers. I think the wheels are possibly off a later car, I don't know. The rest of it looks pretty correct to me. I've not driven one of these, but I've driven a Bentley 8, which is similar to this, but it was an 86. That tractor, I don't know about that really. well, maxis. The first one we've seen of these actually, this entire show. 1978, 79 on a T, 1750. At the time, the base model was a 1500. This one has a larger engine, but not a lot more specification. The sort of HL and HLS would have been higher. Ben Austin. I think this is an A110 Westminster, this one actually. Quite a late one. I think they finished production in 1968 from memory, replaced by the 3 litre. Yes, it is an A110 Westminster Mark II. And then an MG Magnet. It's not exactly the same car, but there were 2 cars of very similar design, one larger than the other, and this is the smaller design. The Magnets are actually quite rare. We've got a nice Oxford of that design as well. This one is actually a relatively late one. It's a 67. That one's late Oxford actually. Oxford were made until sort of 1971, but actually these are both, and Wolseley, 69 to 70 on H's. They're the last 2 models of this shape to actually be made. Everything else was discontinued by 69, but these continued until 71, when the production line at Cowley made way for the Morris Marina. This is the Austin version, A60 Cambridge. Now some of these we definitely did see yesterday. I'm just including for the sake of completeness. But actually it's a different lineup from yesterday. It's very interesting, isn't it? But a Volvo 164, 1970 to 71. These had a 3 litre Volvo engine in them with their own design. It wasn't the later PRV V6. This was a Volvo straight 6. And they have a different front end from the 144 that they're based on. I think I've seen this yesterday, or I can't remember exactly. 1972 Ford Capri 3000 GT XLR. So all the packs, the X pack, the L pack and the R pack all together. That one has got the pre-facelift rear lights. One we've seen in a bit is the post-facelift one. 475 Triumph Stag automatic with some, I think they're called slot mag wheels on them from memory. Vauxhall PB Cresta, but not only PB Cresta, this one's had some work done to it. Although we did see some Crestas yesterday, but it wasn't this one. We didn't see this one at all. Would have noticed that actually with the enormous wheel. That's the dragster thing, isn't it? Then a Vauxhall PA Cresta Estate. I didn't think these were sort of standard issue. I thought the one of the ones that ran were made for the Queen or something, but there we go, there is one. Vauxhall Ventura. I have seen this car before. I think at the Nebworth Classic Car Show last August and other events at that place. This is a 70 to 71 on a J. Ventura 2 it says. And then, we saw this yesterday actually, this Escort XR3i. Pre-facelift Mark 5. Sort of 91, 92. Weather's finally improving. This morning was not very nice, so he's putting the top down. And then a Golf R32, I think these are, if those seats are correct for it. Anyway, 2002 to 3. What's that doing in here? Anyway, I should stop complaining about them show saying one thing and then something else happening, shouldn't I? That's not something I should get involved in. Chevy 2. Yeah, that's actually the model name. Chevy 2 Super Sport. This one is 64. 56 it's a D. And then Thames van, I think, which is based on the Ford Anglia from the early 60s. On the back it says 600 Super, so that's probably had an engine swap. As you can see, the van, unless you went for a deluxe model, do have the standard grille, which was not normally featured on most of the Anglias, because most of the Anglias were deluxe. 1991, 1992. Rover 416 GTI manual. Oh, viewers, now that is very tempting. Very sort of 80s looking, although it's a early 90s car with this all white colour scheme, and then slightly later wheels actually. They go for Tomcat, I think. And it's for sale. That is very tempting. 07934 433 898. There's MGB GTs for sale as well, but it's not got a phone number on this, so we won't discuss that. 69 on English white with red leather interior. I think we're going to see quite a few more of these today, of course. Typical show in this country. 6768 MGB with that nice early steering wheel in it, and a sort of earlier dash, and a very 1980s looking Blaupunkt stereo. Wonderful. So Bondbug 700E, most of them are the 700ES model, so this is rare. It's a very early one actually. It came out in 1970, so that would be a 1970 only on an H. And then we've got this Nissan Datsun Stanza. It's got both badges on it actually. This is an 82, it's a very early Stanza, one of the only 3 doors I think left in the country. I filmed this very car back in 2021 when a friend of mine had 3 Stanzas, which I drove one of them, and then his friend had another one, so I filmed 4 Stanzas in a day and drove 2. Didn't drive this one though. This has now been put back on the road by its new owner. Lots of patina on it, but yeah, when was the last we saw any Stanza at all? You see Stanza by Nissan. Yeah, they are not common anymore. Not common at all, particularly with this incredible rear wiper arrangement there, as you can see. I think there's something like 15 Stanzas in the country on the road or something. It's a very, very rare car now. Humber Hawk, 1960 approximately. I think we saw this yesterday because we had a little friend driving it, and little friend is still driving it. Looks terrified. 73, 74 Ford Granada Mark 1 3 to GXL. This is a pre-facelift Mark 1. The facelift occurred in about 1974, and they went then to calling these the Gear as opposed to GXL. Automatic like most of the V6 ones were. Another Crest PB here, this time in estate. This one I think is still a pre-facelift, it's a 64, and it's got some unusual wheels. They look like a Senator or something, or sort of Mark 1 Senator, I'm not sure. Then we've got Triumph Stag. This is a Mark II with the option alloy wheels, 1975-76. So this is a post-facelift Mark 1 Capri. It's a 3 to GXL, like the Granada was. This is a 73. I think it was registered probably August, September 73, because the purchase order confirmation was in July. Those of you of a certain age will remember these. 1983 Bedford HA van. These had a 20-year production life actually, which is insane. And although the Vivas came and went, the Viva was actually discontinued in 1979, this still retained the original HA shape until the end of production, which was this very year, 1983. By this time it had the same engine as the Chevette, and a Chevette steering wheel as well in there. Not quite sure what this 2008 Ford Fiesta Mark 6 ST by Mountune is doing in a pre-2000 event, but I'm not supposed to comment on things like that, am I, viewers? 73-74 Ford Escort 1300E. That's a very nice one. Facelifted Mark 1 Escort, actually with original specification, like many of them that get modified of things. Talking of a Chevette, 1982-83 Chevette L 3-door. I've driven an L 4-door, which was a 1980 in this colour, also a facelifted one. These are very, very rare cars now. This one's an automatic. I didn't even rare an L Auto. They well, are incredibly rare. They're not the nicest cars to drive unless you're going for an HSR, which is completely different really, apart from the basic body shell, which is actually modified for the HSRs. The standard ones, they're not the favourite thing I've ever driven, to be honest. They're alright. More luxury Fords from the early 70s, or maybe this is 69. 1970 Ford Cortina 1500E. I suspect we're going to see a few more Mark II Cortinas today. We did yesterday, and this is actually another one from videos from yesterday. '66 Volkswagen Splitty. That'll be worth a bit of money now, won't it? Absolutely. Jetson Interceptor, late one under Jetson ownership, 1975-76 on a P. I think the whole company went bankrupt in '76 and they had to find a new owner, so that'd be one of the last ones made under the original ownership. 1971-72 MGB, that should probably have a fish mouth grill on it, but it's been changed. Another Stag here, 73-74, maybe a Mark 1 or Mark 2, I can't quite see actually, but the easiest way for me to identify them is the interior lights, but I can't really see them there, so I'll have to just be a bit dark about that. One of these Volkswagen transporters. This is a left-hand drive one. Interesting sort of colour scheme on this. It's got sort of purple bits in it. I forget the type of these. It's like a T25 or something. Could be completely wrong about that, of course. Like I'm about so many things. 19. Sorry, not 19 at all. Oh yes, from Daly's Motors. 2002. Jaguar XJ8 SE, I think a special edition right at the end of production of the X308. It's very nice. I have driven one of these. It was a Daimler. It was lovely. Another Mark 1 Escort here, so the cylinder head by Burton. 1969-70 on an H. It's quite nice, isn't it? Originally a 1300 Super, goodness knows what it is now. Land Rover Series 2A. For some reason this has got a Series 3 front end on it, but I've looked at the interior and it is a Series 2 dash, so I don't know what's going on there. Then BMW E30, not an M3, it's not left-hand drive and it's not a two-door, so it can't be an M3. It's probably a 325i with lots of specification on it. Then we've got 2006 Ford Focus Mark II ST by Wolf, which is for sale. Call 07958 538 609. 1984-85 Ford Granada Mark II facelift, 2.8 GL automatic. Most of the V6 ones were automatic actually. It's nice to see a GL actually. Most of the ones you see at shows these days for the Mark II facelifts are gears. Then an Anglia. I think we're going to see plenty of these today, aren't we? Absolutely loads. I think that's just a standard deluxe rather than the Super, because it's Anglia Super on it. Another Mark II Cortina, 1967. This one I think is a 600 GT from memory. Yeah, it is. I think it's the same colour as this Corsair that's next to it. I don't quite know why they marketed both the Corsair and the Mark II Cortina. They're very, very similar in size actually. Cortina a little bit smaller perhaps, but these days people don't seem to remember the Corsair as much. Another Mark 1 Capri. This is a 600 GT, and there's the original invoice there from November 1971. So there we go. Classic sort of early Mark 1 with the bronze paintwork and a black bonnet. Another one of these Farina cars, 1964 A60 Cambridge, this one. Then Minotaur, this is a Series 2, be sort of mid-50s I think. Then this beautiful Fiat 124 Sport Coupe. 1968-69, we saw this yesterday. It's one of the most handsome cars of the entire era. It is a beautiful, beautiful car. Then we've got Fiat 124 Spider 2000. This is a much later car. It's based on the same platform, but this is a American specification car, so 1980-1981. Made until 85 for the American market, I think latterly under the Pininfarina name. Then a Toyota Tercel four-wheel drive estate. We seem to be seeing these everywhere at the moment. This is a completely different one than the last one that we saw. Saw one at Chiltern Hills Rally, saw one at Pop and Fly In. I'm very happy to actually see this. They have a rather bad reputation for rust. I think that's a problem with Ian Seabrick's one, but he bought it about 2019. He bought that 2020. I can't remember. 8586 was C. 1966 Triumph 1300. This one is almost identical to the one that I filmed for Sensible Secondhand Classics earlier this month. The video's not been released yet because I've had about 1 million Shambolic shuffles this month, so it's in the queue somewhere, but it's rather like that, and it was a very nice car to drive actually. That also looks beautiful. A whole row of Triumphs here. 1968-69 Herald 1360 Saloon. Herald that I drove was a 1360 convertible in the same colour from 1968, which was about 2022. 1968 to 1969 to 70 Vitesse convertible on an H plate. Random sort of Triumph Spitfire, although it says GT6 badge on it. It's not a GT6, it is a Spitfire, which is made to look like that thing from Cars. Yeah, which is odd. I have no idea why they're calling it GT6. It is a Spitfire. And there's Tomato thing there. But yeah, 72, 73 Spitfire, 70, 172 Spitfire. This one has got a 1.5 engine, which has been added later, which has a 1.3 in it. Been a couple of more Vitesses for both convertibles, 70 to 71, and then 68, sorry, about 68, could be 67 on F actually. That thing I have no idea. Saw these yesterday. These are two Bedford CA Dormobiles. Maybe this one's not a Dormobile, it doesn't take Dormobile on it, but that's definitely a Dormobile. Someone's up, I think, camping in there overnight because, well, why not? This Renault traffic, it doesn't appear on any of the check sites for some reason, which is the weirdest thing, so we're going to have to just walk past that because we don't know what type of fuel it is. Series 2A Land Rover 66. Vauxhall Velox PA that we saw yesterday, which actually is the low specification version of PA Crest. It's more famous. Stanza is leaving. Had enough. 1976-77 Triumph Dolomite 1300. This is one of the first of the ones that were actually replaced for Toledo. They standardised the length of it. This actually has a longer boot than Toledo does, as well as being a different name and specification changes. 1977-78 Mini 1275 GT. I thought this was a Clubman originally, but it's not. It's a 1275 GT, which is different. It's more desirable than the standard Clubman. Morris Minor Traveller. This one would be about, well, it's the same as that one. That's a 6869 on a G. Both Trafalgar Blue. I imagine it's about the same time. We've actually got a post-October 64 steering wheel in there, so that's a bit of a giveaway. But yeah, Trafalgar Blue is one of the most common colours on the later Minors for some reason. I have driven one myself in Trafalgar Blue, it's a two-door. 1982 Triumph TR7. Production of these finished in Solihull in 1981, so this is obviously a late registration one. And it's been to many, many events. And then a 1960 Volkswagen Beetle registered in 61. This looks rather original, apart from these wheels, which I think are obviously aftermarket. But apart from that, that looks remarkably straight. Actually, there is a phone number on here. Call 07725462515, which is around £10,000. Is that a good price on one of these? Let me know in the comment section below. And this Nissan Blue that we saw yesterday. This is a 8788 on an E. This could be either a T12 or T72, I'm not exactly sure. I can never tell the difference between them. And call 07831370707 if you wish to purchase this wonderful motor car. 1982 to 1983 Range Rover 4-door. Early, sorry, 5-door really it should be. It's an early one with this configuration. The first manufacturer I think to make the one with 4 or 5 doors was Monteverdi but this is a standard one, I think. 1985 Ford Zodiac. Now, we didn't see very many of the Mark III Zephyrs and Zodiacs yesterday. We saw an awful lot of the Mark 1s and Mark 2s and Mark 4s, but not the Mark 3s. I don't really understand why. I think it's a fine car though. And then we've got a 2003 Mercedes SL, which is for sale. Call 078 36 183 815. What specification is this one then? It is an SL 350 AMG. Wonderful. Little Heinkel bumper car here, also sold over here as a Trojan and right-hand drive. That one is left-hand drive, so it is a Heinkel. This is, I think, part of a Piaggio Ape, from memory. Weird little thing. And then there's the Reliant chassis over there. We'll look at that in a moment. We've got a Ford Model Y here, which will be from the sort of late 30s. And then Ford Model A, which will be from a little bit earlier, maybe sort of late 20s, early 30s. Spare wheels, of course, on the back like that. And then that Reliant chassis that we saw earlier on. Sorry about the music, by the way, viewers. Nothing I can do about that. It's very annoying. Still don't know what this massive lorry is. And then we've got Series 3 Land Rover, very similar to the one used in Living Daylight, actually, in Gibraltar at the beginning of the film. 1976-77 Ford Escort Mark 1. Clicking on my alarm over there. Is that a Mexico? Is this something else? I'm not sure. Windscreen's come off another car, and presumably it's got a Burton cylinder head in it. One thing I've just noticed, and it's something that I saw coming a little bit earlier, is this little Auto Bianchi here. These were originally sold, I think, as the Fiat 500 Giardinetta. But by this stage they were known as Auto Bianchis. I can't remember exactly what model it was, but there you go, weird little thing. 1970 172 on a K. Ford pickup here, F250. This one sort of early 60s, sorry, 57 that one is. Just shows how much I know about American cars, which is nothing. Mark 1 Ford Cortina. Seems to be moving a lot of cars up here for some reason. We'll have a look at some of those in a moment. And then another Chevy 2. I don't think I've ever seen a Chevy 2 before in my life, and now there's two here. This is an area we didn't really cover yesterday, I don't think. I think I just sort of got fed up and didn't do it, but Chevy 2 Nova SS. That's what it says on there anyway. I think actually what we're going to do is stop this part here. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again soon for some more incorrect information.